Hello and welcome to E447. I'm your instructor, Gregory Myers. This video, we're going to take another look at our Wix website. This video is part of a larger series of videos that are going to focus on some of the things that we can do with our Wix website, and particularly trying to grow our portfolio or our blog a little bit. I've had just a little bit of time to play around with Wix, try to make some changes here, sort of guide you along the way. The idea is this is supposed to be the beginning of a long journey that hopefully will continue well beyond the end of this semester. You can see here that I have picked the portfolio and CV template, although you can also have used the blog template. We're ultimately going to be doing a little bit of both. The idea being is that I would like for you to create a portfolio that you can then potentially give to employers. Now, please note that for the purposes of the E447, this is not required. So I do not want you to feel obligated to put your personal information on the website, but rather, if anything, you can sort of create a avatar, if you would, of yourself, and just follow along in the process. The key thing is I'm interested in not that you display your personal information on the web, but rather that we follow along with the process. And so you can see here that I have went ahead and started to configure my website a little bit. I've changed my name, added a description of what I do here at the university. Once again, I'm going to try to have a little bit of fun with you along this journey here. I picked the portfolio and CV because it started off with a good template, including a resume, projects, and contact for the homepage, but it doesn't have everything that we would like for it to do. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I did here. First and foremost, what I did is I went ahead and enabled the dev mode, so you can go ahead and turn on the dev mode. We may be using this for various features in this throughout the semester, but if nothing else, it gives you a more full-fledged experience, including access to the JavaScript code, which we will be using later on. So it just gives you a more comprehensive feel of the Wix IDE, or the development environment that Wix provides. Once again, all through your web browser. The second thing that you'll note that I've done, in addition to changing my profile picture and having a little bit of fun here, is I've went ahead and added another button. And there's a couple of ways that you can go about doing this. You can go up here to the add, and you'll see that you can add text, image, buttons, pretty much anything you would need to on your web page. And with this particular IDE, this is fantastic because you can actually just select something, right click, and in this case, copy. And so what I've done is I've copied my resume button and turned it into a blogs button. And then what I've also done is I've went up here to my Explorer. Essentially, that's what this is. This shows all of the pages in your Wix site. And I have simply added a page, and that page is my blogs page. Now, I haven't had a chance to do very much to it yet. Ultimately, we'll get a chance to do quite a bit with this particular page as we go on. The idea is I wanted to make sure and create this placeholder, as well as you'll see that you have your resume placeholder, which I'm going to go back through and modify as well, along with y'all, and my projects, which will give us an opportunity to discuss projects outside of 447. So here is, for instance, something like I would encourage you to maybe make a little project page, but perhaps something that you've done in your analog electronics or your digital electronics, or maybe in your microprocessors class. Basically just advertise your projects that you've worked on here. And then I have filled out my contact information because I would like for you to be able to get a hold of me if you need me. And then under the blogs, once again, like I said, I've just simply changed the background. The key thing, though, is that you want to go ahead and create this blogs page so that when we go back to our home page, and we now have our blogs button, that we can just simply right click, and then what we can do is we can select the link, and this will allow for you to decide what that button does when somebody clicks on it. And so in this particular case, what I want this blog to do is to open in the current window the blogs page. Let me rephrase that a little bit. What I want this blog button to do is I want the blog button to open the blogs link in the current window. And you can simply select the blogs by choosing which page then you have. And this gives you the list of your internal pages. So hopefully you could see that really quickly you can create a really nice website with Wix. And so we'll go ahead and hit done. And at this point, then the only thing that I want to go ahead and show you is I've made some changes. I still have to go back and change my email address and my phone number on the main page. I have done so already on my contact page, but I've got quite a bit of cleanup as well to do, just like y'all do. The idea here is that this will become the landing page then for our class, for some of our projects, or some of our assignments as well. So you'll notice here that the main page, it also has updated now to include the blogs link here in this menu. Once you're happy with it, what you want to do is you want to come up and you want to select publish. And when you publish it, you'll get this rather weird looking URL. And that is the downside of having a free Wix account. But the great news is that should you be happy with your Wix page, you can ultimately go ahead and use a payment plan, or sign up for a payment plan without any changes to your site. So that's the big significant advantage, as well as when you do sign up for a paid plan, you can actually control your domain name and you can control your URL a little bit better. In this case, we don't really care. There is the URL for my site. If I select view site, you'll see there is my landing page or my home page. Now, what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to get to this point, clean up your resume a little bit, add maybe one of your projects from another class. Once again, I'm not looking for anything specific, rather the attempt. And so you can be very flexible in what you pick here. Maybe you had a cool history class, or maybe you even had a cool science class that you'd like to mention some of your projects in. But the key thing is I want you to follow along with this process here. And then once you're done, you want to make sure and copy this URL, and I'll give you an opportunity to provide this URL to me. And this will allow for me then to be able to go look at your Wix site. Additionally, when we start creating blogs, I'll ask for a specific blog link. And so what you'll want to do is, as you are creating these blogs, you want to go ahead and add potentially other pages below this. So in other words, add additional pages to your website, perhaps one for each blog. Or what you can do is you can go ahead and use the fragments so that all of your blogs are on a single page, but then what you can do is reference a portion of that page. So there are two options when it comes to our blogs. Be on the lookout in Canvas for questions that I will ultimately want you to answer on your blogs. So the idea here is that this gives you an opportunity to practice a little bit of your communication skills as well as some of your technical skills. So that's all I have for this particular video. Hopefully you found this interesting, and hopefully you're starting to get excited about this course. As always, if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to email me, and thank you for watching.